say is your biggest influence? Who inspires you outside of the industry?
Currently or in the past?
Let's do one of each.
Uh, in the past, there's a whole slew of them. Any of the great classic comedic entertainers, um, you know, half the names, 20 somethings probably wouldn't know, but Danny Kaye, Red Skelton, Dick Van Dyke, those type of people
Okay.
were a huge, um, you know, on the way that I perform today.
Yeah.
And I guess nowadays, it's hard to say. I don't really have that many heroes of today that I look up to as an entertainer, I suppose, because you know, I think the taste of America has changed as to what is entertainment and what is not. Unfortunately, I think for the worse. And so I don't. It's hard for me to think of anyone today that I look up to. There's some of the classic acts, I suppose, that are still around. Like Charlie Fry. I look up to him. He's one of the most highly skilled technicians of magic or juggling that you'll ever find.
Yeah.
And there's a certain. I hate to keep on going back to classic, to older styles.
Yeah. Well,
However,
I was just going to ask you, what is it about those guys that do you think we've lost?
well, okay, the classic acts, the classic entertainers, has a brand of humor that never goes out of style. Now we can go on for hours about what that is.
Mm-hmm. Let's go. Let's start.
No,
Hour
we
one.
can't. But I say it crosses in a lot of different boundaries. Like for instance, I can go and do a show for kids, for college age, for 40 somethings, or for retirees, and I can get laughs across the board. I can entertain them across the board. I can honestly say that I don't know too many people who can do that. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm anything special, but I think my type of delivery or the type of humor that I'm trying to represent, it's without rank or malice. Is oh gosh, hold on, phone. Let me get the phone off.
Okay.
Okay,
No problem.
now that was nice. Okay, good. Sorry about that. It's a home phone that I still have right here next to me, and it just rang. I'm sorry about that. And so I have a feeling that you have to be able to perform your magic without anything specific. I'm sorry, this thing's still going and I can't
Yeah.
turn it off.
It's no
That's weird.
problem.
So it's really hard to put into words, but a lot of the newer acts and comedians, I think, are going for shock value, and it's almost elementary type humor,
Okay.
elementary type of effects and magic and whatnot. That people are a lot more smarter than that, and I think people are insulted by the delivery or the type of magic that's being presented today, and people don't get it. I think a lot of magicians just want a visual splash. They go, "Ooh, look. Isn't that great?" Well, yeah, that we just performed that in 5 seconds, but now how can the rest of that trick be stretched out to 3 to 5 minutes of entertainment? And I think a lot of magicians don't know how to do that.
So let's say you go back in time to any point in your career and you had one piece of advice for a young Jeff Hobson. What point in your career would you go to, and what advice would it be?
I would say that learn not only everything you can about your craft, which I think a lot of younger people in magic are missing. They're picking up a half dozen tricks at the store, and they're going, "Hey, great! I know all there is to know about magic." And they're not learning all the basics. If you can see behind me, you
Mm-hmm.
see a huge library. It's a really good library. And now, whether that library is in printed form or on DVDs, I think you need to, number one, get the best education of your craft that you can. Number one. Number two, diversify your knowledge and your talents with acting classes, voice lessons, music background, and anything else that you can get your hands on that will enhance the knowledge and complement what you already do in your art form.
All right. Where do you see magic going on television?
Boy, it's a downward spiral to me.
Okay. All right. A downward spiral. Where does the spiral begin?
I don't know where it begins. I think it begins, okay, not and not. It's not because of. I don't think the street magic. I'm not saying like a David Blaine, Chris Angel thing is what. I'm just saying again. I think what we're missing is a sheer element of entertainment.
Gotcha.
What we have now is presentation of magical effects that on the outside people go, wow, did you see that trick that guy did? And they'll talk about that trick
Yeah.
that just they just saw performed rather than, wow, wasn't he good? Wasn't she great? Did you see him or her do that? In other words, they give credit to the effects and not to the
And
people.
not the
And
act.
that, I think, is the crux of the problem with the television and the entertainment industry as it is.
Now you mentioned, I mean, all your early your early influences were all comics, and that's something that is a theme that comes up on iTricks a lot during our podcast. Is that maybe performers sacrifice, like what you mentioned, the act in total for the mastery, the mechanical mastery of the tricks. Why do you think that is? What really contributed to that erosion?
Okay, so in other words, you're saying, okay, the question is again, you think that you've sacrificed,
Well,
that you've sac.
to put it in context of like your act, that the jokes aren't there, but the magic effects are. Standing in front of your mirror and practicing the effect over and over and over and over again till the point where it's technically great is still there. But the fact that it's a whole act and it includes jokes and bits of business and acting, that has suffered.
Well, are you saying that people today aren't
Yeah,
doing that? Is
yeah,
that
that's yeah. I was asking, yeah, if that's your point.
I think eventually there's less heroes that are available to watch and emulate, and as the as the magic effects get perfected, but yet you see less of shows that you can look up to and go, wow, I want to be just like that. People have nothing to go on anymore.
Yeah,
I think the best thing to do again, if you're going to want to be say, okay, let's just for sake of argument, you want to be a comedy magician. Go back and watch some of the great comedy magicians. Go back and watch the old stuff from the old comedians and learn why and how it worked and why did it work. People can't dissect anything anymore. They don't know why things work. And people are again, they don't see anything on television anymore. You see American Idol and you see America's Got Talent. And it's amazing to me, the America's Got Talent, anyone could have gotten on there. And
yeah.
unfortunately, I think it's done worse for magic than anything else because you got just as many bad magic acts as good ones, and the good ones sometimes don't get enough to show their real talents.
Yeah, and sometimes the good ones get made into bad ones because that's what they're looking for in those kind of
Yeah,
shows.
exactly. And it's again, I think it's just the chipping away of entertainment. People, the entertainment is changing now, and people don't. The whole thing. It used to be they used to say that when you're on television, you have to write your scripts and develop your shows for a third grade mentality.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it seems like it's a kindergarten mentality now.